appreciate that.
Okay, so evaluate using calculator, round to 4 decimal places. So we're just going to plug this into our calculator. So sine 48.3, you just punch it in as is, and I get an answer of 0.7466. And make sure you guys round correctly. The number beside the 6 was a 3. Okay, so if this number next to it is less than 5, then it stays as it is. If this was greater than 5, then we would round up. Can you guys see this one? No. So B is cot 32.8. Cotangent 32.8. Okay, so there isn't a cotangent on your calculator. There's only sine, cos, and tan. Okay, so there's no cotangent and there's no secant. Okay, so you just have the 3 buttons on your calculators, you don't have all 6. Okay, so sine, cos, and tan are the ones on your calculator. Then there was the reciprocal ones, which were cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Okay, so we don't have this on our calculator, so we have to convert it. Okay, we have to convert it into which one? What does cotangent relate to? Back in your notes. Relates to? It's in the name. Cotangent relates to? Tangent, yeah. So cotangent relates to tangent. So what we do is we flip it. And once we flip it or do the reciprocal, then it becomes tan. So we're going to flip this. So this is over a 1. Flip it. So we get 1 over. And once we do that, it changes to a tan. So now your calculator, you're going to do 1 divided by tan 32.8. So I get 1.55169. So the number after the 6 is higher than 5. So my 6 turns into a 7. So 1.5517. And I'm going to give you some easy ones like this on the test when we eventually have it. Just calculate it. And if you can't round properly, you're going to lose marks. Okay, it'll be a 1 mark, punch it in, give me the answer. Okay, but make sure you know how to round. Oh, I just saw Esther. Yeah, you got it right. Okay, and now lastly, okay, again, we have secant, but we don't have a button that says secant. So we are going to do the reciprocal. So we get 1 over, once we do the reciprocal, what does secant turn into? Cosine, right? Cos 43.6. Thanks, Victoria. Okay, again, punch into your calculator. So 1 divided by cos 43.6. And I get 1.3809. It's 0.8, but it rounds up to 9. Yep.
I keep on getting an error.
You got an error?
Yeah.
See?
So I have to put a bracket, so do 1. Wait, I do have to close. Okay, so here, right? So I'm going to do 1 plus 1 divided by, now brackets,
the fraction, but it doesn't work for this. We probably should have started with these ones. Okay, key thing here. Find the measure of angle A to the nearest tenth. Okay, tenth is how many decimal places? Tenth? How many decimal places? Oh boy.
2.
1, yes. One decimal place. Okay. So, whenever you're finding an angle in the formulas, you have to do something specific. Okay? Except for when you use the 180 minus the angles. Any other time when you're doing sine, cos, or tan, when you're finding an angle, you have to do something specific on your calculator. Does anyone remember what that was?
You have to use like the negative, right?
Sorry?
You have to use like the negative, right?
Yeah, so good. So, Andrew, right? So Andrew and Owen, correct. You have to do the inverse or that negative button, okay? So this is how it works. So we're looking for the angle, okay? So if we're looking for the angle, we want to isolate for it. That means we have to get rid of the tan. Okay, so we're going to bring tan to the other side. Okay? But when it goes to the other side, it now becomes tan inverse. So tan to a -1. This is always when you're finding angles, always. You have to do this inverse function. So we're going to do tan inverse of 2.2222. Okay, so we're isolating for A. To get rid of the tan, I don't know if we multiply it, so it's like tan -1 on both sides. Okay, or bring it over and it becomes 10 to the power of -1. So what that means, it's just, you don't actually do a power of -1. It's just a function on your calculator. Okay? So this is how it works on your calculator for people at home and people here. So you're gonna press the shift button. Oh, that's bad lighting. There you go. So the shift, some of you guys, it says second. Might say QND, a second function. So you're gonna press the shift button. Then we're gonna press 10. So shift 10. You guys can see that. And then punch in the number. 2.1234. And you should get an answer of 65.77. Okay, so for some of you guys it's a shift button, some of you guys it's a second function. So we get, it says round to the nearest tenth, so we get 65.8 degrees. Okay, please make sure everyone is able to do that. Anyone not get it? Okay, next one, we have a cosecant. Okay, cosecant is the opposite of what? The reciprocal of what?
Sine.
Sine, good. So this is how it worked this one. You have two options. One, flip the number, or bring it over and then flip the number. Okay? So right now I'm gonna flip it. Actually, let me bring